Today, I'm going to talk about a simple practice that I started doing early on in my archery journey, and then a challenge that I did that really I saw great results from. I don't always have a lot of time to make it to the range, but I strive to stay consistent with my shooting no matter what. Ideally, I'd be able to set up a range in my backyard, but that's just not possible right now. The nice thing about shooting bows is you can actually shoot indoors. In your room, in your office, in your garage. It's not like shooting a rifle or a pistol. I don't think it's probably a great idea to shoot a pistol in the house. What I've decided to do is just start blank bailing in my house. So what is blank bailing? Well, it's basically shooting at a surface area or a target without an actual, paper target on it that you're aiming at, like this right here. Instead, you would be shooting at just a black spot, or just shooting like off into the white, and you're not focusing on hitting a certain spot. All you're doing is you're focusing on your technique and your form. When people have target panic, this is a strategy that people do to get rid of it. So then they're not getting anxiety when their pin is on that spot they're trying to hit. The reason I think this is the best practice that I learned is because it's a great way that I've found to stay consistent during those busy times where I can't make it to the range and shoot. Benefits of blank bailing. Number one is time. You have no commute to the range. You can really spend 5 to 10 minutes and you got some practice in. Focus on your shot process. So you're focusing on the process that you're going through, and because you're shooting at a blank face, you're not worrying about the result. Sometimes when I'm shooting, I'm thinking too much about where the arrow is going to land and getting it in that spot, and then you lose sight of focusing on just going through the process. And then muscular endurance. Even if you can only get a few sets in, at least you're working on your muscular endurance and keeping it up so your arm isn't getting as tired when you haven't made it to the range in 4 or 5 days. It isn't necessarily the same as shooting at yardage. When your arrow is way off, there's no denying that you did something. It'd be fun finding that arrow. Whether it's just your arm is floating all over the place or you were torquing a bow. But with blank bailing, it's just about solidifying those habits. Here are the protocols or the practice strategies that I use while blank bailing. Number one is just getting reps in every day, no matter what. This is more about just doing it consistently, and it may be just one arrow a day. Usually that one arrow leads to a few sets, and this is just about staying consistent. Getting 30 arrows in throughout the week is better than nothing. So the second great way for blank bailing and a practice protocol is doing long static holds. I do this after normal range days, but this is probably the best way to take advantage of blank bailing at home. Being able to hold at full draw for a long time is a huge thing to work on for hunting situations. If I only have 5 or 10 minutes, maybe that's the best use of my time, is just come to full draw and just hold it for a minute and 30, and do that 3 times in a row to kind of burn out your arm, but try to stay focused while you're pulling through your shot process at the end. Practice pulling back slow and controlled. Pull back level as slow as you can till you get to full draw. Try to minimize that movement so when you're hunting you don't get detected. I think this is something that definitely helped me out with my elk hunt this last year. And then practice shots after lifting. I think combining the lifting along with the blank bailing is a good way for it to not be super boring and get great results from it. Creating a stressful situation, increasing your heart rate, getting your arms or your legs pumped, and then going and pulling back your bow and shooting. You're probably not going to be doing push-ups while you're in the backcountry hunting, but it's a good way to add stress and go through your shot with a little bit harder situation than it otherwise would be standing in your climate-controlled garage shooting at a blank target. And then the main thing about blank bailing, being deterministic. So what I do is I always have a certain technique or thing that I am working on. Let's say I'm in a bad habit of twisting my torso. That's been something I've been working on for a while. I'll pick that one thing, and obviously I'm trying to do everything correctly while I'm going through it, but that will be my number one thing I'm thinking about so I can iron that out and get a better habit of being aligned correctly. 30 days of blank bailing. So basically what I did was I shot my bow every day. If I wasn't going to the range, then I would blank bail in my house, even whether it was 1 arrow or 50 arrows. And I scored myself at 60 yards, my normal standard scoring leading up to that. I did a couple during, and then I did a couple after. And I saw a big increase in my score afterwards. It was a great result to see after spending the 30 days working on my form, to see a big jump in results. So I'll link that video right here. Probably over here, right here. I'm not an expert. I'm a new archer. I've only been doing it for a couple of years. So I enjoy sharing these different things and techniques that I've found that have worked for me for others that are just getting into archery. So that is why blank bailing was the #1 practice that I picked up early on in my archery journey. Let me know what your favorite practice is to stay consistent, whether it's blank bailing or something else. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll see you on the next one.